Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to today's live session from Bhagavad Gita as it is. We are at the moment covering the chapter, The Most Confidential Knowledge, chapter 9. And we have covered verses up to verse 24 in this chapter. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langate kirim yatkapatamam mande Shri Guru Dentarinam Parmananta Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hariyam, that's it. Verse 25. Yanti deva vrata devan pitrin yanti pitri vrata bhutani yanti bhuteja yanti madhyajinopi mam. Translation: those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings, and those who worship me will live with me. Krishna says, now verse 26, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti uparitam ashnami prayatatmanah. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit or water, I will accept it. Verse 27, Yat karoshi yad ashnasi yat juhoshi tadasi yat tapasyasi konteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. Verse 28, Shubha Shubh Phalairevam Mukshase Karma Bandhanai Sannyasa Yoga Yuktatma Vimukto Mamupashyasi. In this way, you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me. Verse 29, Sammoham Sarva Bhuteshu Na Me Dveshyosti Na Priyah Ye Bhajanti Tu Mam Bhaktya Mai Teteshu Chapyaham. Verse 30, Api Ched Sudoracharo Bhajate Mamanya Bhak Sadhurev Samantavyah Samayagya Vivasito Hi Saha. Translation: even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. Verse 31, Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvachantim nigachati konteya pratijanihi naye name bhakta pranashyati. He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Verse 32, Mam hi partha vyapishritya ye pisyuh papayonayah striyo vaishyas tatha shudras tepi yanti param gatim. O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, that is women, Vaishyas, the merchants, Shudras, the workers, can attain the supreme destination. Verse 33, Kim punar brahmana punya bhakta rajarshes tatha anityam sukham lokamimam prapya bhajasvamam. Translation: how much more this is so of the righteous brahmanas, the devotees and the saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary miserable world, engage in loving service unto me. Verse 34, which is the last verse of this chapter. Manmana bhav madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yuktavaiva matmanam matparayanaha. Engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. So in the verses up to 24, Krishna was telling us about the knowledge about him and the characteristics and what kind of ideas we have in our head and how everything comes about, how Krishna is in everything around us. And that was again told to all of us. And afterwards Krishna was telling me that according to our worship, according to how we worship Lord, we get the results accordingly. Worshipping the demigods, we should remember that who is empowering them? It is Lord himself. So we should actually directly worship Krishna. We should submit, surrender to Lord Krishna. Now in these verses beginning from 25, from 26 onwards, Krishna will be telling us about the glories of the devotional service or the bhakti. So what do we, how Krishna is going to tell us that what are the, he's going to glorify the devotional service of his devotees. In verse 25, Krishna says that if the ones who are worshipping the demigods, they will take birth among the demigods. The ones who worship their ancestors will go to the planets of the ancestors. And finally, Krishna says the ones who worship the ghosts and the spirits, they will go to take birth among those beings in their next lives. But the ones who worship Lord Krishna will go back to Lord Krishna's abode. In verse 26, Krishna is saying that patram, he doesn't mean any patra. When he says patram pushpam phalam, he's actually saying tulsi patra. Krishna is satisfied by a leaf of tulsi, a flower, a fruit, water. Krishna is satisfied by even this much. If we are sometimes stuck somewhere, or if somebody is not able to offer anything else to Krishna, Krishna is satisfied by any of these things as well. Krishna says, I accept these things as a person's service, in if it's done in love and affection for Lord. So that doesn't mean that we should only offer that limited, but if our circumstances allow us, we should serve Krishna to the best of our ability and enjoy the prasad afterwards, of course, and stay steady in our devotional service and do our service with a lot of love and affection. The rules and regulations are given to us, that what Krishna accepts and what he doesn't. So we should offer the food without the onion, garlic, mushrooms and the red lentils. And sattvic food Krishna accepts, but of course with the leaf of tulsi always. So if you haven't got a tulsi plant in the home, you can use the dry tulsi leaves, even the stems of a tulsi leaf as well, of a tulsi plant as well. So there's no problem about that. And in verse 27, Krishna says that we have to transcend the three modes of material nature and to make some rapid spiritual advancement in our bhakti. We have to do these things. That is, whatever we do, whatever we eat, whatever we offer or give away, or whatever austerities or difficulties we go through while doing the bhakti, if we offer that to Krishna just by saying Om Tat Sat, he says, O Kunti, you should do that as an offering to me. That should be done as an offering. So whatever we are doing in life, if we offer that to Krishna, Krishna will rapidly make an advancement in our devotional service. Our spiritual life will advance very rapidly. So whatever we are going to eat, all we have to do is decorate with the leaf of tulsi and offer it to Krishna. If you don't know the elaborate mantra, just say the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra And later on, if you want to, I have shared on this channel the offering mantras. You first say the Prabhupada mantra 3 times, and then you can offer, and then afterwards say 3 times the Panch Tattva mantra as well, 3 times. But if you don't know anything, just by saying Hare Krishna Mahamantra 3 times, you can make a start for offering the food to Krishna. And then after offering the bhoga to Krishna, eat it as prasad with your family members. You can put the plate which you offered, put that back into the main pot, and that becomes prasad for all of you, and share with others as well. So it's a simple, very simple formula Krishna has given us. That is why this chapter has been entitled The Most Confidential Knowledge. In verse 28, Krishna says that by doing so, you will be freed from the bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results, and your mind fixed in me. In this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and you will come to me. So whichever our situation is, wherever we are situated in life, if we can just bring Krishna in our lives, we can be freed from all the bondage to work and to the cycle of birth and death. So what we have to do is, we have to first surrender to Lord, and then after cooking, just straightway eating ourselves, instead we offer to Krishna. So we are actually doing a little bit of sacrifice there, and Krishna is happy with that. And whatever you're giving away or anything, any austerities, rules and regulations you're following, you just offer it to Krishna. Hari Om Tat Sat, and Krishna is happy. That is like a yajna. You have offered, you have given the ahuti. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 23.39 says, a person who is thus always engaged in the service of the Lord, or is always thinking and planning how to serve the Lord, is to be considered completely liberated at present, and in the future he is going back to home, back to Godhead, is guaranteed. That person is above all materialistic criticism, and just as Lord is also above all criticism, Prabhupada says in the purport. In verse 29, Krishna says that I envy no one, nor am partial to anyone. I'm equal to all, but whoever renders me the devotional service is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Krishna is impartial to everyone. In terms of opening, he's opened the doors to all of us that we can do his devotional service. But the ones who are going to do his devotional service, of course, Krishna will be a little bit impartially partial towards them, Krishna says, like a judge. So Lord provides everything for all of us, but if we engage ourselves in Krishna consciousness, we understand the presence of Krishna everywhere, in everything around us, and we offer him the devotional service, then Krishna says that Maite, that they are in me as a result. And Krishna also says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sathaiva bhajamyaham. Whoever surrenders unto me proportionately, I take care of him. This reciprocation exists because both the Lord and the devotee are conscious. Prabhupada tells us in the purport. Example is, when a diamond is set in a golden ring, it looks very nice, the gold is glorified, and at the same time the diamond is also glorified. So the Lord and the living entity eternally glitter, and when a living entity becomes inclined to the service of the Supreme Lord, he looks like gold. The Lord is gold. The Lord is a diamond. So this combination is very nice. Living entities in a pure state are called devotees. The Supreme Lord becomes devotees of his devotees if a reciprocal relationship is not present between the devotee and the Lord. Then there is no personalist philosophy that we don't consider Krishna to be a person. We just consider him to be someone without a form. But we know Krishna is not Nirakar or without a form. He is not impersonal. He is a person. So we serve him accordingly. So if we say that Krishna is our God, so we have to offer him bhoga as well. We have to look after him, take care of him, and whatever we are doing, because he is the supreme, we offer it back to him. So this is a transcendental situation where how the Lord and his devotees, they function. The bhakti activity of this material world, it is a part of spiritual world. Prabhupada tells us, spiritual world where eternity, bliss and knowledge predominate. And our souls, their nature is that Satchid Anand Vigraha, just like of the Lord's, because our souls are part and parcel of the Lord. In verse 30, Krishna says, he's referring to the gopis of Vrindavan, they were ready to give up their mind, their chastity in the eyes of the world and everything for Lord. And that is the best of all devotional service. They didn't care for anything as far as the service of the Lord was concerned. They were ready to give up everything. And Krishna says in this verse 30, that if one commits the most abominable action, which is not good, but that person is engaged in the devotional service, that person is to be considered saintly, because he or she is properly situated in their determination of the devotional service. In Narasimha Puran, it is said, Bhagavati cha harav ananya cheta brisha malino api virajate manushya nahi shasha kalusha chaibhi kadachit timira parabhavatam upayati chandraha. The meaning is that even if one fully engaged in devotional service of the Lord is sometimes engaged in some wrong activities, these activities should be considered like the spots that resemble the mark of a rabbit on the moon. Such spots do not become impediment to the diffusion of moonlight. Similarly, the accidental fall down of a devotee from the path of a saintly character does not make him abominable. So one should not misunderstand that a devotee in transcendental devotional service can act in all kinds of abominable acts. This verse is only referring to the accident due to the strong power of the material connections, which is very important. We should try to understand that. Devotional service is more or less a declaration of war against the illusory energy, which is the Maya. As long as one is not strong enough to fight the illusory energy, there may be accidental fall downs. But when one becomes strong enough, then one should engage in the devotional service properly, but one should not take unduly advantage of this verse, thinking that yes, I can perform any bad activities and still I'll be considered a devotee in God's eyes. This actually refers to the gopis of Vrindavan, their highest form of devotion. We cannot imitate their devotional attitude, their devotional service. So the personal form of devotion to Krishna is the highest form Krishna has established, and what we have to do is we have to go beyond our selfishness, and with complete purity and of complete consciousness of Krishna, without any selfish desires in our minds, we should absorb our mind, body and word and ourselves, and then our entire life will be absorbed in the devotional service, and entire life will actually become like an offering to the Lord of love, with love and devotion. In verse 31, Bhagavan is telling us that the advancement of a devotee will not perish, falling into like lower varnas sometimes. The Krishna consciousness, devotional service if a person has done, that will be like an impetus to bring back the person to the devotion life. But it is always best not to fall down, and we should always endeavor that we should be always be aware of Krishna and always trying to please Krishna, and try not to commit offenses to anyone, especially the Vaishnavas, the devotees, and also anybody else in the world. We should try to keep our words sweet, that they not agitate anyone. So we should keep ourselves engaged in the 9 kinds of devotional services, starting from Smaranam Kirtanam, Shravanam Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Padyasevanam, Dasyam, and Atmanivedanam. So we should chant the easiest mantra given to us in this world: Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and chant it nicely, say it clearly, and try to hear the mantra while chanting. And this is the only thing which is going to deliver us, because Bhagavan lies in his mantra, Mahamantra. That is why it is called Mahamantra. And we should try to observe Ekadashi as well, because Bhagavan says he's in the Ekadashi as well. And today is Ekadashi, which is actually going to be observed tomorrow. This is one of the very important Ekadashis. When Bhagavan wakes up, Bhagavan went to sleep in the Devshani Ekadashi earlier on, the beginning of Chaturmas, and now is the time when Bhagavan wakes up. So it is very important to observe these fastings as well, to the best of your abilities, however your body allows, your health allows. Now in verse 32, Krishna is telling us that, O son of Pritha, those who take shelter of me, they could be born as the ladies, the Vaishyas, the merchants, the Shudras, the workers. They can also attain the same destination of me, of my supreme destination. Because when the bhakti starts, no matter which birth you are in, that is going to surpass it, that is going to accelerate your bhakti, and your journey will be taken fast forward. So no matter which birth you have taken in this life, once you are in bhakti, it will catapult you into acceleration mode. So taking shelter of Krishna, one can become much greater than Jnanis and the Yogis. Prabhupada reminds us. Like we say, mode of ignorance, mode of passion, mode of goodness. Bhakti is beyond all these 3 modes, is above the 3 modes. But you have to be in the mode of goodness to begin your bhakti. In verse 33, Bhagavan is telling us that how much more this is of the righteous Brahmanas, the devotees and the saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary miserable world, engage in loving service unto me. Bhagavan is saying that stay engaged in my service. And anityam asukham lokam, this world is temporary. Anityam asukham is full of miseries, and it's not habitable for any sane person. So Krishna has declared this place as temporary and full of miseries, this world. And so we should engage in bhakti, and spiritual world is eternal and blissful, and we should aim for that, because this is what our souls are. If we close our eyes and forget about our miseries, maybe due to our body, due to anything in this world, we will feel that our souls, they always want to be happy, because they don't belong to this world, they belong to Lord. That's why they hanker for happiness all the time. That is our true nature. And by performing the devotional service to Lord, we can quickly go back to Godhead and relieve ourselves, our souls, of these miseries of coming back to this world again and again, and be eternally happy. In the last verse, verse 34, Bhagwan is telling us, because this is the most confidential knowledge, 34 verses are given in this chapter, chapter 9. In this last verses, Krishna is saying, I'll repeat the verse, it's a beautiful verse. Manmana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yuktvaevam matmanam matparayanaha. Bhagwan says, always think of me. Become my devotee. Offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Bhagwan has told us the secret. Offer your mind, your body and soul to Lord. And Bhagwan says, I promise that you will come back to me. So we have to be Krishna conscious. How will be Krishna conscious? We'll understand that this is only a temporary destination where we are, and by offering bhakti through our mind, body and souls, we can, in other words, if we are absorbed properly then in the bhakti, then Krishna will be very happy with us, and Krishna will accept our bhakti. And it's not difficult, it's very easy. We just have to remember that Krishna is there in every part of our being. My house is house of Krishna. I'm only caretaker. Relationships are all given by Krishna. I'm just here to facilitate them. I'm just here to look after them. And I'm earning because I want to serve Krishna and to help my family members. And everything we do in our life, everything can be used for Krishna's devotional service. This is what Lord wants of us. If we do that, that will be the best of the service to Lord, and Lord will help us transcend back to his abode, Krishna Lok, the Golok Dham where Lord lives. Then we can go and serve Lord there, and we will no longer have to suffer the pangs of material birth, old age and disease and so forth. So I wish you all a very happy day ahead. Tomorrow everybody is going to fast for the Ekadashi, because today it's not suitable for fasting. Tomorrow we fast for the Ekadashi, and then Bhisham Panchak also begins tomorrow till the 30th. More about that later. I wish you all a very blissful day ahead. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna.